Welcome to episode 2 of the Small Tales podcast. I'm your host, Michael Barbaro Jr. Today is one of our very own hosts, Thomas Maynard from New Haven Communications. New Haven Communications aims to promote local businesses in New Haven County through interviews and museum tours, a podcast called Small Tales, and attendant community events. Let us welcome Thomas Maynard to the show. Welcome, Thomas, to this podcast series. It's a pleasure to have you here. Would you like to introduce yourself to all the viewers at home?
Yeah, thank you, Michael, for having me. My name is Thomas Maynard. I am 18 years old. I am going to be a freshman in the fall at the University of New Haven, getting a degree in communications with film production and media entrepreneurship as my concentration. And I'm just happy and grateful to be here to have this chance to talk about New Haven communications and with you. So we can get started whenever you're ready.
I'm ready. First question. Can you tell us about the inspiration behind New Haven Communications?
Yeah, so it wasn't really an inspiration, more of a thing that kind of needed to happen. So I was, for years, uh, this was a kind of a pandemic thing. I was doing a YouTube channel. I was stuck at home, COVID. No one was able to go anywhere. So I kind of was just making videos about whatever happened, whatever came about, just running around, making little skits and whatever with my family.
Yeah.
But they kept saying you need to, as I grew older and was growing up, moving on in high school, it was more becoming less of running around. We're stuck at home in the pandemic, and more of I need to. If I'm gonna continue with filmmaking, I should get serious. I'm gonna get serious. It was really a passion, and we were driving in the car, and we were like, for weeks and weeks and months, people have been telling me, you need to rebrand yourself. You need to come up with something that makes sense and that can become a business. And so we were just driving, and we were at my grandparents, and we were just driving to check out some Christmas lights, and it just came about. What if we called it New Haven Communications? And to further go on with that, what came about was what's one recognizable landmark everybody who knows about New Haven knows, and then the lighthouse from Lighthouse Beach in New Haven, and that's what I used for my logo.
What are some of your most memorable stories that you've covered through your interviews and museum tours?
One of the most memorable, I guess, people that I've interviewed on the channel would be Gerald Augustine. He's the vice president of the Greater Middletown Military Museum. That's a mouthful. And the Vietnam display they have at the museum is his display. They have a bunch of different displays on the Revolutionary War, the World Wars, World War I and II, and just the Civil War and stuff like that. But the Vietnam War display they have is his display. It's got his items, his pictures that he took, and that kind of thing, because he's actually a veteran who was in Vietnam. And so we did a video where we interviewed him and did a video on his display talking about what it was like for him during the war in Vietnam. But in addition to that, he went and took a trip back to Vietnam and to see what it was like and, experience it again. And so we had arranged to do a series, which is, we're 3 episodes in now, and it's called Vietnam Revisited, where we talk about the photos from his trip. He'll show us the certain photos and describe where he was, what they were doing at that time during the trip, and what that all kind of means for him going back to Vietnam. Because some of the photos, even, they took photos with him in museums with replicas of guns that were shot at him.
Really?
Stuff that he saw in the war. Yeah.
That's
So
terrifying.
yeah.
To be shot with those kind of big weapons. That's
The one that I remember the most was an RPG. There's a photo of him sitting next to an RPG, and he's like, that's what they were shooting at me during the war.
no way.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be scared.
I know. Me too.
Okay, next question. Can you tell us more about the different ways New Haven Communications supports and showcases local businesses?
All right, well, we've got a few. The 3 major ones I'm going to highlight today are museum tours, the Small Tales podcast, which you're all watching now,
Yeah.
and community events. So museum tours, how I kind of go about those now is I'm kind of just planning to go to a museum myself. I go in, talk to the person giving the tour, ask permission to film, and we film. But I mean, you can always email me and arrange to have your museum filmed. You can give a tour during public tours. Um, we can arrange a separate tour, and we can go tour your museum or whatever other needs your museum, historic house, or whatever may need to get it out there, get more people. Because some of these historic houses I've been to, I'm probably one of the first people who's walked in a couple days,
That's fine. That's awesome.
which is kind of awful
Really?
because that means nobody goes there. But I feel like there is a need to learn about history and to kind of keep it going. These historic houses. There was one in Portsmouth, Rhode Island I saw with my grandparents that's completely falling apart. No one took care of it, nothing, and it's just like abandoned. But I feel there is a need to keep these historic houses, the way they
'cause it's a
were,
piece of history.
right, the way they were in history, to kind of teach people what it was like back in the 1800s and that kind of thing. The other one is the Small Tales podcast, which you're seeing now, which aims to help local businesses through interviews. Like you'll take somebody like me, for example, and we'll interview like we are about what the business is, um, and how they get started, and just kind of any needs they kind of need for better customership, if that's even a word, and just kind of getting advertisement out there for the businesses who may not have it. Like you may run a business
Yeah.
that you're like, I don't even know how to start advertising, and that's what the Small Tales podcast can hopefully be a jump forward for, to help you with that kind of avenue. And then community events is kind of similar to the Small Tales podcast on a completely smaller scale.
Really?
Where I'll go out to, for example, the East Haven Fall Festival or New Haven Tree Lighting, and you may have a booth of some kind. I'll just go talk with you briefly about the booth and that kind of thing, as well as, but it's more or less not necessarily like the Small Tales podcast, because the Small Tales podcast is personal to you,
Yeah.
showcasing your business. It's all about you.
Yeah.
But the community events, it's not necessarily all about you. It's about the event, but you're part of it because you were there, which then can lead to the Small Tales podcast, and I hope it does, where we bring people on and we interview them and make it about them to give them that business and that advertisement.
Okay, next question. How did the idea for your podcast, Small Tales, come about?
Well, it's actually a multiple part story. I can get into that. And it all started back a couple years ago. I came to ETV, where we are now, and they were having multicam training, just kind of teaching you about multicam shoots, the multicam cameras that they use at their multicam shoots in the studio, and kind of how to run a show, a multicam show, and what that's like. And I was just kind of in awe with the whole experience, and was like, I don't know what I want to do for a show. And at that moment, I really didn't care what it was. I just wanted to come to the studio and do a show on New Haven Communications of some kind, and whatever. And then they were like, yeah, well, you can, as a member, you can do that, but you need an idea. What's your idea? What are you going to do? You can't just come, sit there with 3 cameras, and just sit there. You need to have something. And the idea came about after a few months of thinking, what if I did a podcast where I interview small businesses?
Yeah.
So I had done last year in 2023 2, they were audio only at the time, 2 trial episodes. Those went well. That was good. But then my 3rd episode was going to be with East Haven Public Television, but we could just never, due to our own schedules being busy and stuff, we could never find a mutual day that worked to come in and record. So the podcast kind of died off. Nothing happened. Then earlier this year, back in January, I was like, I want to get that going again. Bring it
Yeah.
back, do it, and have something. So I got in talks with East Haven Public Television, and we got things scheduled. Originally, I wanted to do a big live premiere episode, but for the scale I'm at now, that was never in the cards. That was never something that was meant to happen. But we were able to get two businesses, Alliance Children's Theater and East Haven Public Television, scheduled to come in and film our very first episode, which is out now. If you would like to check it out after you view this episode, and yeah, we have it going. We're on episode 2 now. I have a bunch of businesses I'm in talks with now to get us on for episodes 2, 3, 4, and further beyond.
Okay. So let's see. Next question. What has been your favorite museum tour or community event that you've covered so far, and why?
All right. Museum tour, we'll get to that. I haven't given that too much thought, but community events. There are two I wanna highlight for a similar reason. The first, well, two would be East Haven Fall Festival and the New Haven tree lighting. And those are just my favorite because community events as a whole are my favorite because of all the different people I get to go meet, whether that's people at the booth, go out, and I love doing interviews, and I get to go rapid fire interviews, I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere, and I'm doing an interview. But I also like the people, like, yeah, you're going to meet people, oh, don't film me, right?
Yeah.
But there are some people who you're just walking and you'll look back at the footage you took, the B-roll footage, and you got this guy waving at the camera, or people will come to you. I've had some people come and say, hey, can I be in your video? Right? And we interview them, and I don't do it as much, but I want to start getting more into it. Interviewing not just the people in the booths at the event, but the people that are attending the event, like just a random guy who came to the event. Why'd you come? Where are you coming from? And what do you like and don't like about it? And museum tours. I mean, museum tours in general, I just love them. But my favorite one, I think, is the Vintage Radio and Communications Museum.
Really?
And I like that because it was all kind of more stuff that I'm interested in technology, and you can see old radios and old cameras, film projectors, old TVs, old computers, and I just enjoyed that. Also because I kind of enjoy series, if that makes sense, and things that kind of go on for a while. Like instead of just having one long video on the Vintage Radio and Communications Museum, I broke it up into 4 separate episodes. I kind of took a different approach there, narrated more than just welcome to New Haven Communications, here's a museum, and thanks for watching. I kind of did more like in between. It was kind of me taking you through the museum as well as the tour guide and everything like that.
Okay. Ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you see New Haven Communications evolving?
Well, I kind of see New Haven Communications having a progressional evolution that kind of needs to happen or just will happen. Not only on its own, but that I make of it. Like, I'm already starting to evolve. I have you here
Yep.
to do the podcast, and I want to expand and grow. Just kind of growing in my solutions more. Like, I'm not necessarily meaning growing me in business, but I eventually want to start, uh, which will happen way, way, way in the future, charging people for coming on this podcast or charging people to like kind of do the videos for them. But that comes more when they start coming to me and saying, hey, we can do it. Because right now I have to go out and be the one getting it. Because no one knows who you are when you first start out. But
Yeah.
I know who I am. So I got to put myself out there. And if I don't put myself out there, nobody's going to know who I am. Nobody's going to want to be on the podcast. Because it's just, well, no one knows.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I see it evolving into a real, actual business where I'm eventually, this one's more current future. In the near future, I plan to copyright my business, meaning copywriting New Haven Communications, copywriting the logo, and the assets that I use for my channel. I want to kind of copyright that so no one else can take that. So I
Yeah.
can start making that a real business where I start charging people and growing in the future.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What challenges have you faced in promoting your local business, and how have you overcome them?
Challenges. The biggest challenge I faced, at least in recent times, is scheduling. Scheduling and finding people to come on the podcast. Because my original problem was, great, I have a series, I had 2 businesses to come on it. They got on, it was a good episode, great. Now what? You need to find businesses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who? What? Where? How am I going to do this? But I reached out to some businesses and they got on. We're in talks now doing episodes, and the biggest challenge right now is scheduling time that works for me, works for my crew, works for my cast more than a crew, and that works for everybody, works for the studio, and not just kind of the general work, like works for all. But another big one is post-production wise, advertisement. I'm good, like I'm here to advertise your business. What about my business? I need to, in order to get you out there, you not only need to come on my podcast and be featured, but I gotta get that featured video out there to people.
Yeah.
It's gotta reach people, the general public. And that's the biggest way I kind of overcome that is Facebook. Facebook has been great. I use that. I'll post a video on YouTube, and then right after, I'll go to Facebook, and I'll post on Facebook, hey, video Vietnam episode 3, for example. Vietnam Revisited episode 3 is out now. Go check it out, whatever, and I'll post a link there. Or if I do a shoot and I have behind the scenes photos, I post that, or I'm kind of posting on Facebook, and not only on my Facebook page, but through other Facebook pages. Tons of different Facebook pages about different topics. I found some of them not only based on filmmaking and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but based on the topics that I make videos on, like museum tours, historic houses, and just different towns that I go to regularly, so I can post in those different Facebook groups my videos, and that gives more reach to people.
Okay. Next question. How do you keep your content fresh and engaging for your audience?
Well, to keep it fresh and engaging, I try not to make it like on the Small Tales podcast, for example, just the interview and that's it. I
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, if I'm talking about a series, such as it's one I bring up a lot, Vietnam Revisited, I would show a clip, which you're probably seeing now if I remember to put it in post-production. You'll be seeing a clip from one of the episodes or whatnot of that. Just kind of keep it fresh and engaging, because I know people today, attention spans don't exist. As much as people like to say people have short attention span, I believe attention spans don't exist. They're just, people just will watch something for 2 seconds, and I'm a big contender in that. I'll see something for 2 seconds. If it's not engaging to me and doesn't hook me in from the start, I'm gone. I'm done. Like, you can't keep me in for more than 10 seconds if I don't like it. Which is why I kind of keep it fresh and engaging. Keep the viewer, I guess, not knowing what to expect next, but at the same time knowing what to expect.
Because you're also trying to like bring in viewers,
Right.
and trying to grow New Haven communications.
Right, because as much as I gotta get in new viewers, I gotta keep somebody who watched a previous video to come back and see the next one, or to even keep it engaging enough to go back and see other videos that I've created.
Okay. Next question. How can local businesses and community members get involved with or be featured by New Haven Communications?
Well, I'll speak to the viewers at home on the camera here. There are a bunch of ways to get in contact with me or to get more information. The biggest ways would include sending me an email, which is on the screen now, at nhcoms1@gmail.com, or you could shoot me a text message or a call at my personal cell phone number, 203-668-6551, or you can check us out on Facebook. There's a Facebook page called New Haven Communications, and you can shoot me a message through there, Or, it's still a work in progress, but it's live. You can check out our website, which will be linked in the description of this video. And those are the best ways to find more information or contact me. And I guess to kind of add to it, the biggest way, always, is check out our YouTube channel, New Haven Communications. That's where every video is posted. And just kind of you can keep up with stuff there as well. The final videos and things that we post.
Okay, and I have one question of my own.
Oh, yes.
How did the name Small Tales come to become a podcast?
Well, the name Small Tales it's kind of the reverse. Small Tales didn't become a podcast. The podcast became Small Tales. Because I was like, oh, what can I do? What can I do for a name? We're going to interview small businesses. And then Small Tales came about because it's telling the story, which can also be called a tale, of small businesses. So we decided to call it Small Tales.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching episode 2 of the Small Tales podcast. For more information about New Haven Communications, please visit their Facebook page. Please feel free to leave a like on this video and subscribe to New Haven Communications. Special thanks to East Haven Public Television for letting us use their studio space. If you would like to get your business on the podcast, please email us at nhcoms1@gmail.com. Make sure to check out our other series, Vietnam Revisited. We'll see you next time on Small Tales. Have a good one.